What is blockchain identity? Let's start by looking at what the blockchain is all about. Blockchain is a collection of distributed databases that maintain a list of records. These records are called blocks. Each block contains the history of every block that was created before it, down to time when the first block was created, thereby chaining those blocks together. This entire transaction is secured with end-to-end encryption. Each block has a unique cryptographic signature that can be verified with ease and practically impossible to falsify. And that is because the blockchain is maintained by a highly scalable network of computers called nodes that are distributed worldwide. All these distributed nodes around the world communicate with each other to ensure that the copy of the data stored is identical to all the other nodes. Any individual computer can go back and look at the old data stored locally, and it will be identical to the data stored on all other nodes. And that is why you need to trust the blockchain, because the blockchain gives you proof. Blockchain identity enables you to control their data, their apps, their devices, and their digital identities with no third parties involved by cryptographically encrypting and storing your data on these network of nodes. Every time something is stored on the blockchain, there is a transaction fee, and hundreds of thousands of miners verify that the transaction actually occurred, and in return, they earn a small portion of that transaction fee. This is called distributed trustless consensus. Blockchain's decentralized network and immutable ledger has huge potential. Thousands of companies are already using it for banking, real estate, payment processing, gaming, etc. all over the world. The blockchain is the network. Blockchain identity uses the blockchain for storing identity information and letting the user own the data and control who he or she shares their identity data with, using security principles like multi-factor authentication, where the user uses a fingerprint or passcode in addition to facial recognition or voice biometrics. In return for sharing the information, the user is rewarded cryptocurrency every time his or her identity data is shared with others. Blockchain is all about trust, ensuring that there is transparency, auditability, traceability, and immutability of those transactions. One of the coolest things about the blockchain that blows one's mind is that it completely decentralizes the internet. Think about all the services that you use today, like Twitter, Amazon, Facebook, Airbnb, PayPal, and others, were protocols like the open source distributed framework instead of being owned and operated by a single entity. These various services providers today not only own your identity data, but that also sell your identity data and generate revenues. Blockchain identity revolutionizes that and gives ownership of your identity data back to you and provides you with revenues every time you share your identity data with any service provider. When it comes to your identity, you need to own your identity data. Identity is your right, not a privilege. It's time to reclaim your identity data using blockchain identity.